Peace, peace. This is A and B, African Man Born, on the Culture Speaks, a true hip hop podcast for those who live it. Let's get into it.
I am hip-hop culture, predator to vultures. Rappers getting high, spitting lines, I be sober. Never need an entourage, Pano who holds us down when I come around. Massachusetts soul child, say me in your masu. Knowledge will surpass you. Silly rap crews, walking shady as they move. I am the God man, I be living in the proof.
I'm ready.
I be teaching all the youth on the elements they use. Turn the television off. All the lies got us pruned like an old plum. Government is plotting on our sons, and we disrespect our daughters as we living in the slum.
Peace. Welcome back to the Culture Speaks.
And we stay mad, frontin' tough. I be calling devils bluffs. Rap vet in my truck, hustling for every buck. I don't deal with luck, I just put in work and build it up. Make decisions like a grown man and play my future up. For the unity to take it over, gather everyone. This is who I am as I'm representing hip-hop. I will take a stand while I'm representing hip-hop. Gotta be my best as I'm representing hip-hop.
Welcome back to the Culture Speaks, a true hip hop podcast for those who live it. So, during the break, I was looking up some things about what the internet says about hip hop, and like I said, by all means, check these things out. Don't believe me? Check it out. So when you talk about hip hop, usually in the popular arena of information, people usually go where what everybody's was talking about. Most of the time, when you talk about hip hop, you only talk about literally two elements, which is DJing and MCing, mainly MCing, which we call rap music today. So, but I want to give you what the United States pretty much says about hip hop as far as Hip Hop Day. They call it Hip Hop Day, August 11th, 2024. These are like, they talk about these things, and they do like shows, and they do like, celebrations. And a lot of people that do them don't really understand the actual culture. They don't understand the first 4 to 5 elements and then the last 4. You know what I'm saying? And they don't really understand that hip hop is more than just a genre. It became a genre in the late 70s, early 80s, which Curtis Blow was like the first to have a platinum record, I think, from, so it says Hip Hop Day is celebrated every August 11th in the United States. Hip hop is progressed from a street corner to one of the most important musical genres and cultural impacts in the world. Hip hop, like any other style of music, has its roots in other forms, and its evolution was shaped by many different artists. But there's a case to be made that it came for life precisely on August 11th, 1973, on a birthday celebration in the recreation room of an apartment building in New York's West Bronx by DJ Kool Herc, hip-hop's founding father. Now, that is widely debated by many people. A lot of people debate that. And the reason why it's debated is because there was people doing it before Herc in other places, just done downtown. Like DJ Hollywood, like I mentioned before, he did it downtown. And he did the DJing, he did the vocal part. And then there's other people that said that, there was a lot of DJs didn't really MC on the mic while they were DJing. Then there's others that say, well, Herc didn't create the breakbeat. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot to be said about a lot of these things that we can discuss on later episodes of The Culture Speaks. All right? The origin of Hip Hop Day can be traced to Jamaican DJ Kool Herc, who is accredited to finding Hip Hop Day. Well, let me tell y'all something about that. Hip Hop Day was not what we called it. Alright? So us calling it Hip Hop Day tells you that it's not a hip hop author writing this. Right? Kool Herc began playing records at parties and between sets. His father's band played while he was a teenager in the Bronx in the early 1970s. Herc frequently imitated Jamaican selectors, DJing by toasting or talking over the songs he spun. But his historical relevance has nothing to do with rapping. Kool Herc's impact on hip hop has been more profound. DJ Kool Herc also popularized the breakbeat DJ technique, which he learned from Jamaican dub music. Kool Herc, on the other hand, would play funk, soul, and other genres which percussive portions. He would use a pair of turntables to play two versions of the same song and then flip between them and stretch the percussive period known as the breakbeat. This breakbeat juggling DJ and method was dubbed what they call it, the merry-go-round by Kool Herc. Like I said before, there's a lot of people that debate that they said there was people doing that before. See, me, I was born in 1979. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But what I can tell you is that if we can ask DJ Hollywood, if we can ask Grandmaster Flowers, if we can ask other great DJs, as a matter of fact, you can ask even people that are from here, like Rusty Toe Jammer, DJ Black. You know what I'm saying? You can ask anybody from TDS Mob that existed back in the day. Did you see this form of what we call hip hop before her? You know what I'm saying? So when you look at a lot of the history, all right, it's always going to be debated, and as it gets older and older, there's always going to be debates on who, you know what I'm saying, and when. But the one thing I like about like this type of history of hip hop is that it's really the only genre that had a culture that's with documented history, which means, yeah, it can be debated. Nobody debates about R&B history. Nobody debates about rock and roll history like that, unless we're talking about how the industry stole it. Nobody debates about classical and jazz, but we debate about hip hop. Now, mind you, hip hop created nothing. It recreated everything. It is a form of culture that takes from older music for the purpose of gathering people in peace, love, unity, and having fun. If you ever heard my song, The Purpose of Hip Hop, I explain the story. Pretty much like this, but differently. There was a song I did back in 2016 called Early Days of Hip Hop, which is on the MC3, the Black Light. And after talking to some people that were close to the Zulu Nation and talking to people that were around longer, I made some corrections and created the Purpose of Hip Hop song in 2022. You know what I mean? Which I actually put it out in 2022. I actually recorded that whole album, The King. I recorded that actually in 2019. So I didn't put it out until 2022. You know what I mean? So the reason why I'm saying all of this is we have to get to the bottom of what is what as far as the culture, when it started, and we cannot neglect other races of people that came into this culture, that helped this culture become what it is, like the Puerto Ricans. You know what I mean? Puerto Ricans are heavy into the culture. If you listen to the song where I talk about Latin Revolution, leaking through the music, the 60s in the Bronx, all the parties were large. There was a unification through the sound and the drum. Afro-Latin, freestyle, playing in action. The interaction was spiritual, was sort of like magic. The passion was immaculate. The government attacked it. Yeah, they burned the buildings. People had no access, fam. Poverty grew, they separated factions, and gang violence swamping through the atmosphere. Broken homes, kids alone seeing rats advance. Cops beating on the kids on the concrete lands. No money, no hope, and they have no chance until that party started. Everything you hear, my man. That was just a portion of what I know about hip-hop. There might be other parts that need to be added to the story, but that's my rhyme to it, to give you a little history on what hip-hop is and where it started and how it began. It began because there was a lot of poverty, a lot of gang activity, a lot of crime being done, and we needed an answer. And sometimes it's not even consciously done. Sometimes you just do it. You come together and let's do this, and then it just brings people together. It brings people out of the impoverished mind and brings people into the unity level. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much what I wanted to address on this episode of on hip hop, the last day of Hip Hop Appreciation Day. I am going to get into this more on later episodes, maybe even the next episode next week. You know what I'm saying? So I will address this on the next episode on the Culture Speaks. So for now, we're going to close this out on the Culture Speaks. Thank you all for paying attention. Like, share, subscribe. All right. If you got anything that you want to add to it, email me at africanmanbornproductions@gmail.com. And if it fits the content, then I will add it to the show. You know what I'm saying? And then at some point, I will be doing interviews and stuff like that. So I want y'all to really get involved. And there is going to be some live shows, live episodes, as well as pre-recorded. So I want you to know that you can get involved live on the show. That's going to be later on down the line once everything is a little bit more set up. Also, last thing, check out the merch. All right, the merch Pharaoh on Top wears. All right, that's where this hat is. Pharaoh on Top wears. This is the summer line. If you look back there and you see all of the tank tops, that's this year's summer line for the men. I am gonna have a summer line for the sisters in July. So June, the brothers, we're gonna have the summer line, and in July we're gonna have the summer line. For those that's on the audio podcast, you can't see it, so you're gonna have to check out my YouTube channel, African Man Born Media, all right, to see what I'm talking about.